first vocabulary word for lesson 7 is chorus. You'll notice this begins with digraph ch, but it is not a rule follower. It does not make the ch sound. It actually makes the k sound because of where the word originated. Notice that, but know that this word is chorus. Chorus means when a group of people, and it might be just a few, it might be a whole bunch of people like we do in our class, are talking or singing together. So we've been doing this in our reading lesson when I ask you to choral read. We all read at exactly the same time and we're saying the same words. This is called a chorus. When you sing or talk and you do it together, it is a chorus. One thing that you do where you might actually sing as a chorus is at church. A lot of times churches will have choirs, and a lot of times they will just ask everybody to join them in song, and everybody's singing the same song. That is a chorus. If there's a certain group that does it, they're called a choir. But when they sing it all together at the same time, it's called a chorus. One song you might sing at a birthday party. Everybody's singing together when they sing happy birthday to the person having the birthday. That is a chorus. Chorus means singing or talking at the same time. Think of a time when you have sang or even maybe read in class as part of as a chorus. Draw a picture of you and several other people together reading or singing now. Our next vocabulary word is odor. This one's easy. I always want to draw a giant nose because you guys know an odor is another word for a smell. And when you smell something, whether it's a good smell or a bad smell, we all know those stinky smells like garbage or a dirty diaper make you wrinkle your nose. The odor is not a pleasant one. It is unpleasant. I talked before about there being something in my yard that I was worried about getting close to it because I was afraid that it would spray me. And if it sprayed me, it would make me have a really terrible odor. Most of you have seen these. If you live in Oklahoma, more than likely at some point you have seen one of these animals that puts off an unpleasant odor. They are not a good smell. A lot of times you might be riding in the car with your mom and one has gotten hit on the road and you can still smell it. It is not a good smell. The odor is not good. What is that animal called?
Skunk.
A skunk. Good job. Draw a picture of something that has a bad odor or a bad smell now. The next vocabulary word is shoved. If you take just a moment to look at the word itself, you will notice that this word ends with our suffix ed. The base word itself is shove, which starts with the digraph sh, and it means to push against something. Many of you have had to line up before next to somebody who unfortunately liked to possibly shove you. And it really makes you mad. You don't want anybody putting their hands on you and shoving you. But some people do. Some people will push and shove, and it hurts if they do it too hard. It can also cause you to fall down. If somebody shoves you, that means that they push you. And they can push you hard, not just barely, gently out of the way, but shove you means they're trying to knock you down. They're doing it in a way that really is painful, okay? I've had to shove something before, really put my weight behind it. I was trying to move this giant chair at my house, and I couldn't move it by myself, I thought. But before I called my neighbor to come, one of the things that I did was I really put all of my weight into it. I shoved as hard as I could trying to move it, and I couldn't move it. It was just too heavy. But I mean, I was not just kind of trying to move it out of the way easy. I was shoving it as hard as I can. Shoving means to push really hard. Think of a time that someone has shoved you, or a time that you've had to shove something to get it out of your way, and draw a picture of that now. Our next vocabulary word is to assemble. To assemble means to gather together. Together, or to put something together. I asked you guys how many of you had been to Subway, and one of the reasons I asked you about that is because when you go to Subway, one of the things that you have when you order a sandwich is it goes through an assembly line. They have to assemble it. First things that they get is you choose what kind of bread you want, and then you choose what kind of vegetables you want, and then you choose what kind of meat you want, and then you choose, do you want any cheese? They put all these things on as they assemble or gather the ingredients for your sandwich. And this is a different way to look at assemble. We've talked about it where you gather together and sit on the rug. I ask you to assemble on the rug. That means you're all coming together. When you make a sandwich, all the ingredients are coming together. They're going to stack them all on top of each other, starting with the bread first. After that bread's on, then they do the vegetables, and then they do the meat, and then they do the cheese, and then they put the top on. And at that point, they've gathered all their ingredients together to assemble the sandwich. So remember that assemble means to gather together. Assemble means to put it together. Draw a picture of something you might assemble at home. Maybe it's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Maybe you're really good and you know how to make scrambled eggs. And you know how to assemble all the ingredients, then mix them together to make scrambled eggs. Draw a picture of that now. Our next vocabulary word is to consume. Consume means to eat it all or use it all up. I was using the example, if I used all of our paper, that I would be consuming all of our paper if I used it all up. But for today's example, I want to show you something that I've told you about before in our vocabulary. When we went to Disney World, my daughter and I both have this one thing that we love to consume. And so I've shown you a picture of it before. It's my Mickey Mouse ice cream. Best thing that they have. I love it. It's vanilla ice cream with chocolate coating on the outside, and I want to eat it all up all the time. It's one of my favorites. When we went and I took my daughter, it was one of her favorites too. And I've got kind of a funny picture. I brought a picture of her eating her ice cream so that you could see what she looked like when she consumed it. I mean, you could see there, she was going to town on that ice cream, wasn't she? She was making a mess. She was eating it all up. There was not one thing left with the exception of the stick. And it was so good that she licked the stick clean. She consumed every bit of that ice cream because it was so good. Can't wait to go back and get another one. Think of something that you like to consume. Maybe it's ice cream. Maybe it's pizza. Draw a picture of that on your paper now. The last vocabulary word is enthusiastic. This one's super easy for me to draw. If you are enthusiastic about something, you are pumped up about it. You are happy about it. When I went to the ball game 2 weeks ago, we had to play Texas. You guys know I was super happy when we won. When OSU beat Texas and we were the number one team out of the two, I was so enthusiastic. I know some of you were enthusiastic this last weekend because that is when OU beat those stinky Longhorns. And so you were enthusiastic about them winning the game. Enthusiastic means you're pumped up about it. If I tell you that tomorrow is Fun Friday, you're going to be enthusiastic about it because everybody loves Fun Friday. It's something you're pumped up for, something you enjoy, something you want to happen. You are enthusiastic about it. Think of something that you've been wanting to happen. Maybe you want to win your first baseball or softball game. Some of you may be playing soccer and you want to win that game. You are enthusiastic if you win a game or you do well. You're enthusiastic if you get to do something you want to do. Draw a picture of that now. Okay, that's